Niang shut off by Marcus Smart. Forces one up. Wow. Smart blocks it easily. Comes up with a loose ball. Dribbles behind his back, away from Niang. Bounce pass Horford in the corner. Open. White three. Got it.
Man,
monster swing in this game.
Boy, Marcus Smart is D'ing his behind off, buddy.
And the Celtics push the lead back to 10.
All right, here we go. Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles, Scal is the Celtics closing out Game 2 with a 121-87 win over Philadelphia.
Smackdown.
34-point win. That's the largest margin of victory
Give me
in a playoff
different
win.
adjective. What would a Tom Giles adjective be?
That was a butt kicking right there.
Butt kicking, yes.
That's what that was. That was pure domination in the third quarter. That's what we saw, pure domination. And just from top to bottom of that third quarter, we're going to go through all the highlights, but Scal, just your thoughts on what we saw there in the second half.
I got two words. Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
That man went to a completely different level. His conditioning is on a completely different level. He dominated offensively. He dominated defensively. He's waving guys off. I don't need any help. He's fighting through screens. He's just as big and strong as James Harden. James Harden gave us problems in Game 1. Jaylen Brown said, I got it. We don't need to talk about James Harden. We don't need the game plan. I got it. And he did it on both ends of the floor. This was a Jaylen Brown game to me.
And Jaylen Brown was a part of that 13-0 run in the third quarter. I mean, the Celtics were up 73-60 and just went on this 13-0 run and completely took over the game. It started, with about 4 minutes left in the third. Derrick White knocking down a three. That put him up by 16. Joel Embiid had a shot that looked like it counted, but it was after the buzzer, so that was taken away in the middle of this run as Al Horford with a putback made an 18-point lead. Malcolm Brogdon knocking down the three to make it 81-60. And then immediately you got the steal from Jaylen Brown, and that turns into two for Derrick White. So that made it 83-60, and Malcolm Brogdon knocking down another three. It was like in the blink of an eye, a 13-0 run. The Celtics go from being up 13 to being up 26. You talked about Jaylen Brown. He was right in the middle of all that.
All that. You see him, he's getting downhill. Even if he missed, Al Horford's getting a free run for the offensive glass. Getting downhill, drawing two, kicking it, extra pass, wide open shot. He dominated that half, and he didn't do it just by settling. He had a few of those where he'd settle for three, but his attack of keeping the pressure on Philadelphia made the difference in this game.
And Malcolm Brogdon, too, was just automatic there in that third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. That was just, it got to the point where Doc didn't play Embiid or Harden in the fourth quarter. Just said that's it. That's
the sense of urgency that we want to see from this team. I get it. You're not going to make every shot, but when they play that way, that team right there cannot be beat 4 times in a 7-game series. So it just, can they replicate that? In the first half, I'm not sure. I was watching, I'm like, man, when are they going to flip a switch? And they kind of did right at the end of the half. They got some momentum. But in that third quarter, once they do that and they play that way and they're playing on the attack, playing downhill, I don't know if there's any teams available left that can beat that team.
So you see it at the bottom of the screen there. The 34-point margin of victory, the largest since Game 6, the championship clincher against the Lakers back in the 2008 finals.
Also a smackdown.
Absolute smackdown. Also total domination. Any adjective you want to, just send them in. We'll take, because we're going to need them.
Yeah, we don't need to use them if they're not appropriate. But no question about it. As Tom Giles said, the G-rated butt kicking. That was definitely
I'm trying to do what I can. Eddie's going to join us in the next block, so he'll give us his take on it.
Oh, he has. But he has some.
He's got his own. I'm not going to take it from him yet. Let him have it for the second block.
You're right,
man. Here's the other crazy part about this game. Jason Tatum, they win this game by 34 points, and Jason Tatum had 7, obviously dealing with foul trouble all night. They did all that with Tatum in foul trouble, playing less than 20 minutes.
It's an interesting thing happened in the third quarter. I don't think I've ever seen this in the Tatum-Brown era, where the best defender goes off of Tatum and switches over to Jaylen Brown. We saw that today. In the third quarter, P.J. Tucker just stopped guarding Jason Tatum and went over to go to Jaylen Brown. So, it's one of those things where they were Philadelphia 76ers were so hyper-focused on stopping Tatum, and they were probably betting that Tatum would be out of rhythm in a close fourth quarter game, but they were not expecting Jaylen Brown to do this.
121-87, your final score here in game number 2. The series tied back up at 1 before it shifts to Philadelphia for game 3 on Friday night. We got a ton coming your way. Let's take a look at the third quarter, which this is when the game just turned. This is brought to you by the Massachusetts Health Connector. Stay in the game and get covered at mahealthconnector.org. 35-16. Celtics shot 50% from the field, 7 of 15 from 3. And right at the bottom there, the 0 turnovers. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, that was the second third quarter that they've won in 8 postseason games so far.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they had struggled in the third quarter, but not tonight. All right, let's send it down to Abby standing by with Derrick White.
Derrick, down 0-1 in the series. In your house, you guys find out Joel is going to play, I mean, just before the game, really. What did the mentality have to be here going into game 2?
The same mentality, whether you played or not. Our back was against the wall. We had to come out and got a big-time win. Now we got to do it on the road.
The dam broke in the third quarter. What affected that?
Just kind of we were getting stops to start and then getting out in transition. Our pace was good and made some shots. And so when we're guarding like that, we're a good team.
How important is it to get that confidence?
Yeah, it's always good to see it go in. I mean, me personally, I know I had some good looks in this series. I had it knocked down, so it's good to see him go in, and we just got to build off of it.
JB took the challenge of checking James Harden. What kind of impact did that have on this team?
Yeah, he set the tone, both sides of the ball. That was big time, picking up full. It was big time from him, and he led us tonight.
All right, Derrick White with 15 points tonight. Eddie's with us now. Eddie, sum it up for us, what you saw tonight in this 34-point win for the Celtics.
Well, I thought we battened down the hatches and we played defense. We guarded. We limited them to one shot. We rebounded the basketball, and then we allowed our defense to open up our offense. I felt like our defense tonight fed our offense. And to me, that is the way and the brand of basketball that we got to play moving forward. Start with your defense. You could build from that, but you got to start with your defense. And I'm talking about just knocking down shot after shot after shot. It started looking just so good at one point. It's just like everything they were throwing up was going to go in, but it was all predicated on the way that they were playing on the defensive end.
Is there a word you want to use to describe the win? Scal was trying to take it from you.
What kind of words you got for a 34-point shellacking?
Oh, that's a mollywop. That's a mollywop.
There it is. See? There you go.
All right.
I was gonna step on his toes. That's his.
Can you say it?
Yeah.
Say it.
It was a mollywop. Yeah. He said it. All right. What did you think of Derrick White tonight? We just saw Derrick White, and he had 15 points in this one. Did work there in the second half.
Well, anytime Derrick White is playing in that, we're going to get stops, we're going to run, we're going to make quick decisions. He's like the Mr. Quick Decision Maker. So, yeah, when he's playing that way, he's going to be great. And that's exactly what we saw from him today. And I don't ever understand why the Celtics play slow when you got a guy like Derrick White, Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown. But today they did not play slow, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah, and I think Derrick, a bounce-back game. Didn't have a great game in game 1. And looking to get back into rhythm, man. Like he said, it always starts on defense, on the defensive end. And Scal, you know this, man. It's hard to play fast or play with pace if you constantly taking it out of the net, and you got to constantly take it out of bounds. If you don't get stops, then it's hard to play with pace and play fast. I mean, some teams are able to do it, but for the most part, most teams, it's hard for that. So getting stops is number one. Stops, make sure that we get the ball off the rim, and then we could push the pace and play at the speed that we want to play. But I thought Derrick White was phenomenal tonight. I thought Marcus Smart was great tonight. I thought Grant Williams came in and gave us a great boost. And we talk about Malcolm Brogdon, what he did game 1. I know they lost the game, but he played well then, played well again tonight. And, picked up the slack for Jason Tatum, who, quite frankly, to me, the referees just took him out of the game. And this will be my advice to JT, right? Moving forward. I know you're a superstar and they don't give you all the calls. when you talk to the refs, fake like you their partner, fake like you their friend, and you will get more calls. Just be very nice, very humble when you talk to them, and be a superstar in that manner. You will get so many more calls because they'll want to call it for you. Even though I'm with him, they should be calling a lot more fouls for him. But at the same time, maybe change your approach when you're talking to him, and that can help you moving forward.